back into the surface world.
Ant people. Snake people. Could these stories be
synonymous? People existing like those animals, having the same type of survival rituals.
Based on ancestral tales of
Symbolic.
people actually living underground, possibly during the last ice age. Or could the ancestors of today's southwestern tribes have taken refuge in subsurface dwellings similar to the underground city of Derinkuyu in Turkey? If so,
Look at the green
over
light.
the centuries, might they have developed physical traits like large eyes and fingers that made them more closely resemble actual earth-dwelling creatures?
The shamans and the elders of Native Americans, they will tell you that before these people were able to emerge out of planet Earth, they were brought here by the star people, the star gods, which arrived from outer space.
See, that's what I told you guys happened to me. They projected me here on that green light. And when I say they, I'm talking about the gods in the sun, the S-U-N sun, that's up there in those light orbs. They shot me here on that light and put me in my mother's eyes and in my father's eyes. And then they came together and mixed those two codes together, and she pushed me out. That's why I tell you about the lady legs walking on earth like that. But then that's also what's above and so below. See? And that gives you the X. So it shows you the woman on earth representing the fire of the sunlight and bringing the spirituality of the man so he can encapsulate and walk the earth with her as her help. And her being a greater emanation of him, and the sunlight being a greater emanation of the both of them. Alright, that's what that's all about. So when I tell you that, and I tell you that's what I'm here for, to fix this earth that you guys have destroyed so much, and everybody is required to tip in, or you ain't going to be able to be allowed to stay here. It's just that simple.
I have stood in front of what are called the ant people and some of the very strange large eye drawings on the rocks and wondered, am I looking at Native American interpretation?
You see the spirals I always tell you about what the uterus is? Look, a uterus, inside of a uterus, inside of a uterus, which is known as the black dot, the sun, the hardcore charcoal of the sunlight. This right here is a representation of life and mortality. That's all that is. Look, don't see the zoomorphic representation as being the actual personification. It's all symbolic. It shows you waves of immortality. It shows you three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Amen, Ra, Ptah, Asar, Aset, Heru. They show you the principle of 1 becoming 3, never 2. That's what this is all about. That's what it's all about. As you can see down here, it's synonymous with 1, 2, 3 rings, even though the one inner is a black ring. The black dot, the charcoal, the melanin, the life force, the pure potentiality. That's what they're showing you, is immortality. That's what that is. That's all it is. Continuation.
Interpretation of what today is called the extraterrestrial body.
See, look, everything about it is based on immortality, all of it. They even tried to put the little cross link in there for you, you know what I'm saying? And these people that have been drawing all this stuff on the wall right here is probably actually drawing reenactment of things that they were able to see either in their mind or probably did see. I don't know. But one thing I do know is that this expression of drawings on this wall does not permeate anything to me itself. At one time, you will be this living entity too. Even though you're not that now, you can look forward to one day having this life form right here to possess as your own personification. That's all this shit is saying. That's all.
Biological entity.
See? That's all it's saying. That's all it's saying.
Extraterrestrials were here in the remote past,
Showing you judgment with fire and the weather formation. Fire clouds coming to scorch the earth. Okay? Man so evil And then that would be a good reason for everyone to go underground, because the earth is going to be scorched. The universe will tell you to do that. And if you're smart enough to go under the earth, you'll be saved. But what if the universe was so wise and said, no, we're just going to suck whoever by the green light up into the spaceship. And then when the fires are all over, we'll let the ass go back down to earth and repopulate it, because we'll want their genetics because of how wise they were. So I mean, here's the magic number right here. It's up to you. It's up to you. You see the damn spaceships flying around. You see the forest fires have already started. So what's $10? It's your ticket. It's gonna fix you up where you'll be mental enough to get through all this. You to buy yourself that clarity. Otherwise, you don't deserve it. If you're too damn cheap, too stupid, selfish, or damn racist, and too much of a damn Christian. Either way, it's your friend.
There are multiple species out there. Is it possible that they might have looked lizard-like and ant-like? And the answer is yes.
Is it possible that these underground creatures of Native American legend were actually alien visitors? If so, could some of them still be living beneath the surface of the southwestern desert?
If extraterrestrials were here in the remote past, there are multiple species out there. Is it possible that they might have looked lizard-like and ant-like? And the answer is yes.
Is it possible that these underground creatures of Native American legend were actually alien visitors? If so,
look at this spiral. Isn't it funny that those spirals are always there? See, this is symbolism. These are chakra centers, I believe, too. It has nothing that, I don't think it actually has anything to do with personifications looking like this, because if they were, these are bad artists. You can see that X right there. See, they're trying to hide this stuff from us. Look, you see the X? You see, this is the same constellation that we're dealing with right now. They want this stuff to go right past your head, but you can't let it go past your head. What they're showing you is that there's a cycle that comes where the universe burns the earth up completely to get rid of parasites and to get rid of wickedness, because as there is a polarity of good, there is a polarity of bad, and the overall objective of earth is to keep it calibrated on the overall sustainment of good. We have really drifted from that. The fires are here. See, we can't let these white people keep analyzing and defining what us as a people left in the walls, because they don't have the melanin to do that. So the only thing they're going to do is give us something that'll be synonymous with themselves being great. But they're not doing a good job at it, because we can see they're not great, because there's so much oppression, so much disease, so much decadence, so much false leading, so much false incarceration. There's homosexuality, there's women have to prostitute to make a living for themselves. They are not fit to be governing us. It's real simple.
could some of them still be living beneath the surface of the southwestern desert? For decades, stories of encounters with UFOs and alien beings have been told among the people of New Mexico's Jicarilla Apache Reservation. Some of the aliens in these stories bear a strange resemblance to the ancient tales of the ant-like and snake-like beings from the Hopi legends.
There is things up here that no one can explain.
The Jicarilla Apache Reservation is located next to the small town of Dulce, nestled in the shadow of the over 9,000-foot high Archuleta Mesa.
So you can see at one time the potential for this. As years go by and everything get eroded, because the people who used to upkeep these things all got executed and exterminated and turned into good-ass Catholics and Christians and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and niggas.
It is from this mesa and mountain that people claim they have seen UFOs flying out of the mountain.
It was a spaceship we saw right there, and it was big, like maybe the size of a football field. And then we seen this dome on top that was all glassed in. And then my husband was looking at it with the binoculars, and he saw two small people. Well, we don't know what it is. If we stayed here and they came down, I don't know what they would have done to us.
Could the native tales of spaceships and strange creatures be true? Some UFO researchers and conspiracy theorists believe that these eyewitness accounts are not only true, but are evidence of a secret collaboration between underground aliens and the U.S. military.
The amount of...
I've been on that. The United States military is mining stuff from on top of the earth, taking it into the ground to support another terrestrial, interterrestrial existence that is in cahoots with the United States Army. You know what I really believe? It's kind of hard to explain, but to tell you the truth, I believe that everyone that lives on the earth are governed by the people that live inside of the earth. And the people that live inside of the earth are just kind of like invaders that come from another place. But as they live inside of the earth as tyrants, there is another episode of not even extraterrestrial, but extra/terrestrial beings that live on earth that has always been here, but they pretty much is dealing with the consciousness of man on earth and trying to give us a chance here above the earth to fix our own God's consciousness and repair our own problems that we created ourselves by making the white man. And that's the only reason why someone was on the earth that could be influenced by these snake people or these reptiles. And so it was the reptiles who enticed us melanated people to create a culture or a template that could flourish and generate the Caucasian devils that walk around the earth and put us under the state of bondage that we're under. So since we created that, people that's inside of the earth, though for us, need us to grow. And that's the reason we're locked out. We can't get in to our mother sun that is our true source of sustainment here on the earth, where I go all the time. But I'm privileged like that. You guys can't get privileged like that until you wake up. And one way to wake up is by buying the green light. But see, you're too damn stupid. And that's why you're going to have to stay out here and deal with all the bullshit getting ready to go down. Feel me on that.
Military traffic over Dulce, the unmarked helicopters, the black helicopters, the heavy-duty Chinooks. All these helicopters spend a lot more time in Dulce than they should if nothing were going on here. Among the stories that we've heard from the Hickory Apache is that they discovered vents actually right here on the mesa.
A while back, when my brother was still alive, we used to come up here in the back, and he showed us the shaft, and that thing was bigger than...
Now you see this man right here? You see his skin complexion? This is authentic as possible to the original people that was here at the arrival of the Caucasian man, but even darker. But what I'm saying to you is he's almost at his original skin color, where he hasn't had much contamination from the white man, but it's there. But what I'm trying to say to you is that we were this complexion right here and even darker. Okay, this was borderline where we turned off at. We was no lighter than this. The white man came and made us even, some of us who were real dark became lightened up to this. And the ones of us who was this already became the real white Native Americans, because they came here and deliberately picked the ones that would be easier to lighten up as the ones they wanted to lighten up. So they favoritized them and privileged them and brutalized and mistreated the darker ones and created a system of hatred toward black